What is up, fellas? What else is new? We had technical issues, so we're a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll be good. We'll be powering through, but we will be getting through a bunch of questions. As always, head on over to flockfantasy.com. Link is down below in the description for that to skip the line. But yeah, Danny, if you want to rip your screen up here, we'll start going through some of the questions that we had queued up.
We'll just put us at the top here. Again, appreciate you guys for the support. We already have 15 people that are skipping the line right now. So if you guys want the formula, blockfantasy.com, purchase code FSC.
I'll drop the link in the chat here.
Yeah, we'll be putting it in the chat. So we will be going order of the YouTube comments as well as the members. But in order to actually skip the line, though, you would be going to Flock Fantasy. So keep that context in mind. First question we have here is from J.E. Garza 98. This looks like a 10-team start 8 PPR league redraft format. And he's just looking for a simple start sit question. So the rest of his lineup looks like it's already filled in. You know, Tank Dell there, I would agree with the wide receiver decisions. Dell and Mooney are close. But
well, he has Metcalf listed as one of his wide receivers. So you're probably going to have to throw Mooney into the Metcalf spot there.
Yeah, it looks like Metcalf will not be playing. Again, it sounds like he's going to test it pregame, but he was listed as doubtful coming in. It's pretty significant knee injury. I believe it was an MCL sprain. And typically, again, from my experience, obviously he's a professional athlete. He has the access to the best supplements, but typically with an MCL sprain, at least for the first couple of weeks, you're very stiff in that knee. Only until like week 3, you start seeing it. Now, obviously, of course, that's going to be advanced in the NFL, but I'd be very shocked given the severity of the injury if he's able to suit up this week.
Yeah, most data suggests it'll be a 1 to 2 week injury for the most part. So yeah, Metcalf looks like people are going to be without him. I guess you're deciding between these 3 backs here: Najee, Chuba Hubbard, Alexander Madison. Workload wise,
these are so close for me.
Hubbard and Madison have been better than Najee Harris workload wise because of Jalen Warren's return, but I think the matchup and the game environment favor Najee Harris to the point that I think that would be the direction that I would go.
Now, okay, no, never mind. You got double tight ends here, so you're not putting one in the flex. Yeah, I mean, like I technically have Hubbard one spot higher because I feel safer about the workload because we saw Warren eating the snaps. But at the end of the day, I mean, you want to argue Najee against the Giants, I'm not going to fight you. They're back to back.
It's more so that, like, are the Carolina Panthers scoring more than 10 points this week?
Probably not.
I don't think so. Like, Bryce Young has been awful. No Deontay Johnson. Denver defense is very strong. Like, I just don't envision a world where the Steelers game environment implied point wise and, you know, touchdown opportunities for Najee aren't better than what they are for Chuba Hubbard. It's like an 11-point spread for the Denver Broncos this week. So for me, I'm rolling with Najee there.
Yeah, with the Denver spread, like you mentioned, I believe they're implied for 26 points this week. I was actually talking about Javonte Williams on the short I released this morning. I was talking about Javonte Williams. His line currently is at 63.5 yards. And I mean, if he sees anywhere close to the work that he has been in the last few weeks, I think that's almost a lock.
Yeah, well, I think you can make the argument too that, like, would you rather start Bo Nix or Baker Mayfield this week? Like,
I have Bo Nix higher.
Yeah, I have Bo Nix higher as well. Like, I have Bo Nix at 16 right now. Like, guys that are ahead of him are like Tua, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott type of guys. Like, he's not normally in this range for us. So I feel pretty good about that.
So him and Bo Nix and Jameis Winston are actually the two I both have in my top 20, and I'd actually start both over Anthony Richardson if I had the choice.
Yeah, wild that's where we've gotten to with Richardson. I mean, I know he had a great game against the Texans in week 1, but would he complete 9 passes and he just happened to throw for like 212 yards and 2 long touchdowns? Like, he's like the Alec Pierce of quarterbacks. Like,
how do you even treat him in? Like, is he just a high stash quarterback too, or like is he even worth like do you think he's necessary to roster at this point?
No, I dropped him in my home league. I dropped him. I picked up Kyler Murray in that one trade that I told you about. I as much as I don't love rostering 2 quarterbacks, I think Jordan Love, Kyler Murray, if I can play matchups with them, maybe I get a spike where one of them is really overvalued on the market and I can sell one off. That's how I'm handling it for now. But I had Richardson as my backup just as like an upside stash because, you know, upside stashes can be quarterbacks and tight ends as well. It doesn't always have to be wide receivers and running backs. But yeah, to me, I just think Richardson is now a total better and best ball type of quarterback. Like, you just have no idea when to start this guy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And it's funny because I do agree. I actually, in my home league, so somebody dropped Dak. Funny enough, the context, the irony there, because I picked up Dak after he's dropped.
I'm not playing him, though, this week. I've made the decision. I am going to roll with Mahomes one more time.
Oh, I feel so great.
This will be the last straw for Patrick Mahomes tonight.
I'm not going to lie. I feel so great that you just told me that.
I feel better about Mahomes with DeAndre Hopkins playing the Raiders game. I think it might be a little bit more high scoring than the 49ers and Cowboys. I'm just worried that the Cowboys won't be able to move the ball like crazy on offense. And I think that the Chiefs will at least move the ball. The question is, does, Hunt punch in 2 touchdowns every single week? I don't think that would be the case.
See, I actually think this is the bounce back game for the Cowboys offense.
It might be. But I also could say, I actually think what the decision might end up meaning is that it was a bounce back game for both offenses.
Maybe. I mean, trust me when I say I am very happy you didn't have Dak Prescott in your lineup is all I'll say.
Yeah, and the other tiebreaker factor that I have is that I do have Kelsey also.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And I mean, I was already playing the Jalen Tolbert block, so that was probably just annoying for you anyways to deal with.
I wasn't really worried about it, to be honest.
It's probably more the Brandon Aubrey block that you were worried about.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, no, I dropped Anthony Richardson for Dak 2 days ago, and I didn't even realize Dak was available, but now I have him and Caleb. So we will finish this question. It looks like we are all set here. Burrow quarterback. Yeah, I mean, nothing really else to evaluate. Again, appreciate the submission. We'll go on to the next question from Jason.
Real quick before you answer that, before you read that off, Nemesis asking where the super chat is. I pinned it in the chat, but basically you can skip the line by going to our site, submitting a question, start sit, trade question, just a super message question, and that is how we are going through them going forward. We've explained it a couple times now, but YouTube takes a nice haircut off of super chats, and we don't need you guys paying YouTube's bills out here when you're trying to support us. So that's why we have it set up the way we do. Plus, it's more fun and it's easier for us.
For sure. So again, redraft 10 team start 8 league. I am perfectly fine paying this for Bowers, to be honest.
Also, shout out to the Anchorman reference that he has in the first sentence here. San Diego, a whale's vagina. That's when Ron Burgundy's on a date with Veronica, and he's like, San Diego. I believe it means a whale's vagina. And it's like, and she's like, doesn't it mean Saint Diego? She's like, I'm pretty sure that's what it means. And he's like, yeah, I just made that up.
Fair play. By the way, there's that Cowboys bias. I mean, if you said that the last couple of years, it probably would have been worthy. So I'm assuming you're a Bauer side here too?
Yeah, I'm Bauer side as well. Yeah, I think Kelsey's a good option. Pacheco's a good buy low if you're a contending team, but it's enough of a discrepancy between Bowers and Kelsey for me.
For sure. So next one from Preston, basically just setting his lineup here. He already has a big advantage there. Kyron, big game on Thursday. Tough matchup. And I mean, kudos to Kyron, man. He's been playing a lot better football, and especially with how the offense projects moving forward. Someone I'm going to have to eat personal crow on because I do think there's a very real top 5, top 3 level path rest of the season. I mean, we saw it last year. Quarterback, though, I mean, obviously you're going Joe Burrow over Anthony Richardson. We literally just discussed that. Definitely. Running back, I mean, Joe Mixon is your other running back very easily. I actually have him as my RB3 this week going up against Indy. I think he's going to crush. Jalen Waddle lock. It looks like Zay Flowers is going to be the other lock. Tight end. I'm just starting both tight ends, to be honest. I'm just starting both tight ends.
Yeah. I'm starting Bowers and Njoku for sure.
Yeah, that is a great
whoever plays first. I think Njoku plays at 1, so play him first. But yeah, definitely a very good situation to be in there, Preston. Appreciate the question. Next one we got here is from T. Dudley. I also have Gibbs, Mason, Chase Brown, Bigsby, JJ Cup, BTJ.
I'm not making
so should he make this trade here?
No. I
think this might be a hot take, dude, but you can talk me into Jones versus Taylor rest of the season.
Well, I'll make it very easy. I would rather have Reed than Taylor rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a very easy way to break down this trade, but you can talk me into Jones versus Taylor rest of the season.
Oh, trust me, I agree. I mean, obviously the issue is always going to be with Aaron Jones, older running back. There's always a lingering lower body issue, but it's like, okay.
That's been the issue with Jonathan Taylor too.
Which is hilarious. But what I was going to say with Jones, like, it feels like he's riskier because he's an older running back, but what we do know is when he does play, straight up, he's probably going to be at, if not higher ranked than Jonathan Taylor when both are active.
Yeah, like on a weekly basis, the Vikings are going to be projected for more points. They're going to have more goal line opportunity. Aaron Jones catches the ball more than Jonathan Taylor does. The only thing that's holding it back rest of season is the fact that he's older. And again, Jonathan Taylor is not the poster child of health either.
That's a very good point. So we will select the Jones and Reed side. Next trade here, I click the button. All right, so we're setting lineups again. Obviously, Jonathan Brooks is not going to play. Tank Bigsby, I mean, Travis Etienne is looking like he's going to be out. If not,
not expected to play by the looks of it, yeah.
So, I mean, Bigsby instantly becomes a top 25-ish level running back.
I have him at 21, I think, or 22. Like, I have him pretty high for somebody who's not usually ranked amongst the likes of James Conner, Brian Robinson, David Montgomery types. That's about the range that he finds himself in.
And am I crazy, bro? Like, I feel like our running backs, like 16 to 30, are going to be completely different because legitimately, I feel like that 16 to 30 range this week, you can go a number of directions. Like, genuinely,
down
there's
to
just a lot of good
seems
running
a little
backs.
high. I think once you get into like Rashad Whites and Chuba Hubbards and guys like that, there's definitely a distinct tier gap. But 16 to 24 for sure, there's no difference between.
I actually have Rashad White after that, for the record.
Irving is going to be very limited, and White projects as a pretty good receiving option for a team that just lost its top 2 receivers. I have White at 25. I think he's actually quite a good play this week against the Falcons. I think the receiving work should be there.
Yeah, like the difference for me is like for the record, I actually look at Alvin Kamara as being in this range. I'm at
17.
I'm at 23. I'm at 23. Like I would start Chase Brown over Alvin Kamara. I am very worried about Alvin Kamara.
I think that's a bit high on Chase Brown just because he's still not getting the inside the 5, inside the 10, and long down and distance 2-minute drill stuff. So for him, he kind of needs the explosive big plays to get there, which he can have. Obviously, we know that about Chase Brown, but
Kamara is definitely a safer projection.
It's too much. It's too much to bank on. I think even though the game environment's pretty good and the matchups, or whatever. I don't know. I think it's just a little too rich on Chase Brown. I have him at 26, right after Rachaad White and Tony Pollard and B-Rob, and guys that I just feel better about their workloads.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I have B-Rob a little bit lower because for what it's worth, I also did that with the uncertainty if Jaden Daniels was playing. So he'd probably draw or raise a couple spots. Tank Bigsby, Rico Dowdle's in that range. Najee Harris, Chuba Hubbard's going to get the workload, even if it's a tougher matchup. He's got to be there. I still believe in Tyrone Tracy personally, Nick Chubb, Ramondre Stevenson, Alexander Masson's guaranteed touches. And then I have Rachaad White. Like literally like maybe not 16 to 33, but like if you segmented that in 2 tiers, I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, no, you could talk me into it for sure. Continuing to set this guy's lineup here, we got wide receivers. Debo appears that he's going to give it a go, so I think he's got to be in one of the wide receiver spots for sure. Pickens definitely would be the other one. Just by the looks of it,
you didn't get Puka.
I mean, if you didn't start Puka, that's definitely unfortunate. I would have recommended you do.
Same. I had Puka at 24.
I had him right around the range that Pickens is right now, coming into the week where he locked in. So I probably would have said you should have. Yeah.
Where did you have Puka ranked?
I had him at 25.
So where do you have Pickens ranked, bro?
I have Pickens.
I think I have him way higher than you.
I am at 20. Sorry, he's a little bit bit higher.
I have Pickens at 16. I thought you were going to say you had Pickens at like 24. I was like,
no. I have him at 20. Okay. So he's a little bit higher. But yeah, I probably would have said to start Puka. But let's say you didn't. If you didn't start Puka, what are you doing in this situation? Are you going with Tolbert? Are you going with McMillan? Are you going with Lockett? I personally actually have Lockett ranked the highest of this group.
So I have Tolbert slightly higher, but you could convince me on Lockett. They are legitimately 32 and 35 in my rankings. Like I said, I'm just more optimistic about the Cowboys offense moving forward, coming out of the bye.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. I think Lockett would have to be the play, to be honest, just given the offensive projection in that game and the fact that the Seahawks are going to have to throw the ball quite a bit more.
They have the same implied total this week, no? Seattle and Dallas.
Yeah, they do. Again, you could talk me into Tolbert versus Lockett. I just think that Lockett has been more consistent from a target standpoint, and with Metcalf out, I just can't see a world where he's not like a 25% target share guy.
No, I don't think that's bad. So again, you're going to be hearing this whole discussion, like whether it's Tolbert, whether it's Lockett. I mean, regardless of who you put in there, I mean, which one are we just going to submit into the thing?
So for me, let's just tie break it where we have them ranked. I have Lockett at 31 and Tolbert at 40. Where do you have them ranked?
You have Tolbert at 40. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, I've Tolbert at 32. In that range that I like. Tolbert at 32 and Lockett at 35. So I'll put Lockett in, but. Yeah, I think you need to be propping up Tolbert a little bit. 40's
I mean, it's not that I don't like Tolbert. I have Douglas, McMillan, Keenan Allen, Ricky Pearsall without Juwan Jennings.
I'd easily take him over McMillan.
Yeah, I think that's a fair. I'm not going to argue on that. Like that's definitely a close discussion.
Trust me, I love McMillan's talent, but at this point, like I want to at least see him do it before I just project him higher than that. But that's fair. So I'll submit it. We'll go to snubs. Unsure who to start at tight end and flex. Pick Laporta up off waivers. Wow. Thoughts on him without JMO? So I think at this point, safe projection is late tight end 1, but I do think he could potentially even move up to the mid tight end 1 range with no JMO. Again, he's the biggest unknown right now because it's like we saw what the ceiling was last year, but the only problem is he's not playing anywhere close to where he was last year. So at this point, he's just kind of been a big play tight end that doesn't command volume. Without JMO, though, maybe we do see more of a concentrated chain moving offense because obviously, I mean, having JMO pop a 7-yard touchdown every game kind of takes the pressure off the other guys in terms of a volume perspective.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're having shorter drives too. And, Laporta and St. Brown both are guys that feast off of, long drives where you're moving the chains and stuff. So yeah, I would go Laporta this week, but I actually don't mind Kincaid as like a pretty underrated play this week. I don't know what to think of Kincaid this year, man, because he's been objectively disappointing.
I think he's sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly not the same level of talent that maybe some people thought he was coming into the year, maybe as a prospect, whatever. As a Kincaid manager last year, I can tell you that I saw this coming. Like when I watched him, I wasn't like, blown away by the type of ability he had. But at the same time, you're like, oh, I got to leave, some optimism that it's a second-year tight end and he's going to maybe take a step forward. And maybe that's even true of next year when we're talking about Kincaid for next year's draft. We're like, oh, he's going into his third season or whatever.
This is going to sound disgusting. Brace your ears right now. Where the meme from The Office, it's like corporate find the difference between these images, and it's Pam holding up the same image. One side is Dalton Kincaid, one side is Cole Kmet, because that is
the difference between Dalton Kincaid and Cole Kmet is about 2 or 3 fantasy points per game in favor of Kmet.
Shout out Kmet.
Kmet's been a lot better, and Kmet looks a lot better too.
Where do you think Kmet ranks at tight end this year? This is going to baffle you.
Like 4, probably.
Yeah, he's the tight end 3. Tight end 3.
That's crazy.
And
there's a better question. If they switch teams right now, where would Cole Kmet be ranked the rest of the season?
Top 5, 6, probably.
Yeah, it's crazy we got here with Cole Kmet. But all he's done, and I remember you always were like super hard on Cole Kmet every single year.
Kmet and Hunter Henry were my 2 guys.
And TJ Hawkinson has caught a lot of strays from you as well. For me with Cole Kmet, I'm like, I don't like him, but I always draft a lot of him in best ball because he just has games like this.
You don't like him, you love him.
I don't know. I had like 18% Cole Kmet in best ball last year, and I have like 14% this year. Like, he just is a guy that I think is really good in best ball.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's like we see those type of tight ends that we know have spike week potential on good offenses, but then we look at like, oh, they have so many receivers and this running back there. It's like they get devalued. Like a guy like Cole Kmet, it's like I should have seen coming that, okay, there is Rome Odunze, there is Keenan Allen, there is obviously DJ Moore, but if I expect this passing offense to be good, Kmet's going to fall ass backwards into the end zone a few times, and he already has.
Well, yeah, and it also would be kind of very 2024 of us to like project a huge breakout for Rome Odunze and, a huge target share for DJ Moore, and maybe Keenan Allen gives you 20% targets and kind of moves the chains. And then Cole Kmet's the guy that you needed. Like that kind of also seems on brand for how this season has gone in fantasy.
By the way, so in my streamers video, because like he was an under the radar name, it's like, I literally mentioned this. I'm like, well, Cole Kmet's on this video, but he probably shouldn't be. He's the tight end 3 in fantasy right now, but it almost feels like everybody just streams him at this point. Like, is there one person in your league that is starting Cole Kmet on a week in, week out basis?
No, he's usually a streamer.
That's what I mean. So it's pretty crazy. We're talking about the tight end 3 as a streamer, but yeah. And then the final one here, Jalen Waddle, very easily in the flex. It's a top 15 overall wide receiver for me this week with Tua back. Not sure if I should trust 2 of my Dolphins players or go with Harris and Pickens. So we're going to see the lineup in a second. Again, a 12-team start, 7 PPR league. Looks like you didn't leak anything, brother. All right. So
I'll be back in 1 second, I think. Maybe not. Yeah. Hold on. Just give me.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Gunna, if you're in chat right now, here, I will reply to you on the side and ask you to either resubmit, or if you have a question, feel free to type it, because your entire comment is not linked properly here. Just give me a moment. And for the record, yes, we if you guys are new to the stream, we will be getting to the stream live chat. Okay, so I see it. Sleeper League, Pain to Plane, take me to a little HN team name. Team wasn't linked. It was not, but if you have a question, we can answer on stream. Okay. So I messaged Gunna. Again, he should be able to see that. So we'll just skip to the next comment for now. 4-point quarterback 4-point quarterback passing touchdown PPR Superflex, running back 2 start, and OP start lineup if Jane Daniels plays or sits. So Jane Daniels is expected to play in this game. So assuming he does play, he will be in the quarterback 1 spot. Trevor Lawrence is going to be your quarterback 2. He's been playing a lot better as of late. Running back here, it would be Rico Dowdle for me. Wide receiver and flexes, we'll take a look. I mean, Cup and Neighbors obviously going to be locks. Maybe, Pitts is your tight end 1. So then we're looking at the flex here. Reed's already locked in. I don't even mind doubling up on Packers here because I do love the outlook for both Reed and Dubs in a very good game environment for Green Bay this week against Jacksonville. So that's how I would set your lineup. Again, I'm assuming Corey would agree. He had to step out for a second if you guys are new to the stream. Sorry. And we will go to the next comment here, and that's going to be from Jonathan. Lineup if ETN is out, if Tyreek is out, or if McConkey is out. PPR, great content, fellas. So first, obviously, you have Geno Smith at quarterback. Geno Smith versus Jared Goff, very close. I would slightly prefer Geno, so I would leave that as is. Running back here, I mean, Tank Bigsby is probably going to be your RB1 here, knowing that ETN is likely to be out. Wide receiver, Lad, Downs, and Pearsall. So with the potential Anthony Richardson in, along with Downs dealing with the toe injury, I personally would actually go with Ricky Pearsall out of these guys. Lad McConkey as well, dealing with a hip injury. So Pearsall, again, it's a little bit more of a projection because we haven't seen it yet. However, very good role. We saw last week him command 5 targets in his first game. No Jawan Jennings in this game. No Brandon Ayuk, obviously. Deebo Samuel is expected to play, but he will be pretty banged up, obviously dealing with that illness, and I believe it's hip and wrist injuries. So we are plugging in Pearsall at that spot. In terms of your flex, you got Bucky, Ramondre, Lab McConkey, et cetera here. I would lean Ramondre against the Jets. Again, very close call between some of these receivers, but that is how I would leave your lineup. Again, no other tight end option. So we will be hitting the submit there. Again, appreciate you there, Jonathan. Yeah, okay. Preston here, another comment. 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 7 PPR league. Quarterback here, we are plugging in Caleb Williams. Running back, it looks like it will be Jordan Mason as the one here, paired with Kyron Williams. Wide receiver, Jefferson already played, that very good spot. Oh, did you not get Cooper Kupp in? If you didn't get Cooper Kupp, I mean, I will set it with Cooper Kupp, and again, you will be getting the link to the stream, so not a worry there. But if you didn't play Cooper Kupp, obviously the direction you would go with would be Devontae Smith there. So remember that. Tight end Kyle Pitts, and then Brock Purdy would be your other consideration for flex, is what it's saying. Let me just take a look. Okay, so if you can start a quarterback here, obviously you do play Brock Purdy in the super flex. If you can't start a quarterback, then you play Tank Bigsby, I believe. Chase Brown or Tank Bigsby would be pretty close. Well, the question I would have, okay, did Cooper Kupp play for you on Thursday? If Cooper Kupp played for you on Thursday, I actually would like Devontae Smith here, assuming you can't play Brock Purdy in the pure flex league. If Devontae Smith had to go into your wide receiver spot, which is how I'll set it because I don't know if you're able to get Cooper Kupp in. If that's the case, I would actually lean Chase Brown here. So, I mean, you'll know if you have Cooper Kupp in, but that's how I would set the lineup as currently constructed. PPR 14-man league. Again, a 1 quarterback, 14-man start, 7 PPR league. Quarterback here, we have Kyler Murray. Running backs, Rico Dowdle, Tyrone Tracy, and Chuba Hubbard. I think of this group, I trust the workload the most of Chuba Hubbard, and although it is a tough matchup, I think I will be putting him in here just because I feel good about the touches. Obviously, no Jonathan Brooks. We feel good there. Rico Dowdle, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Tolbert, or Xavier Worthy. And then I would go Rico Dowdle here as my other flex. So that's how I would set the lineup. Again, pretty tough call. There's a ton of very close names like Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Tolbert, Xavier Worthy, but I do trust Rico Dowdle the most there. So again, appreciate you there, Jonathan. This one from Castillo. It is not loading right now, so let me just little refresh. A little refresh never hurts. Boom. Go back to the trade and stuff. All right. So Gunna Boy, if you are in stream again, I did message you on the side. I'm going to quickly refresh the tab to make sure like whether you responded or not here. Would it be okay? Here's my apologies. Okay, he has not responded. So we'll go back to Castillo's question if it wants to load. All right. Oh, is it just okay, it's just a super message. My apologies. I thought the team was loading. Apologies for that. Castillo says start Dowdle, Odunze, Mostert, and Flex with Deontay Johnson out, and start Kyler or Daniels. Appreciate you. So it does sound like Jaden Daniels is going to play. I would be throwing him into my lineup over Kyler Murray. If he does play, I am assuming he's going to be able to suit up and be healthy doing so. Otherwise, they would hold him out with that rib injury. In terms of the other comment, it's very close between, I would say, Dowdle and Odunze. Dude leading a Dowdle given the guaranteed touches he should see. However, I do see this potentially being a breakout game for Odunze, but I think the safer play would be Dowdle. You need some upside, you go with Odunze. Oh. Woo. Blue, we got a comment here. 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 8 PPR league. He has a quarterback set. I would actually go with Drake May over Mahomes personally, so I will actually put that in there. I know Corey's going to be disagreeing with that, but that's fine. Kareem Hunt, yep. Brees Hall, yep. Drake London, yep. I mean, I don't know why I'm pausing, obviously, yep. And then we go to the flex. I would go Rico Dowdle, I believe, out of that group. Yeah, it looks like it would be Rico Dowdle. And then obviously you have Javonte Williams in that flex. So like how that team is set up, close call. But yeah, I would put Rico Dowdle and then Drake May at the quarterback spot. AJ here, Dynasty PPR League, need running back, 2 tight end, and second flex. So it looks like the rest of your lineup, like you said, is already set. Again, a 1 quarterback, 10 team start, 8 Dynasty League. Running back here, it's between Eckler, Vidal, Dowdle. I think it's very easily going to be a Rico Dowdle in your lineup there, so we'll plug him in. Tight end. This is a close call. Now, I actually have to see who I have ranked higher between Kmet and Laporta because they are very close for me. So I have Laporta 2 spots higher, but man, I'll put Laporta in. But if you wanted to go with Kmet, like, I wouldn't blame you, to be honest. I would lean it with Laporta with no Jameson Williams potentially having a step back up. So, yeah, and then it looks like Darnell Mooney is going to be your best option at the flex, but let me just take a scan. Yeah, so I will be putting Darnell Mooney in there. Again, appreciate you for the submission there. We'll go to Fredo's question. I need to fill my wide receiver and flex spot with Higgins out. Okay, so wide receiver. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, Chris Olave. Chris Olave is obviously going to be going in. I think Amari Cooper is going to be going into your wide receiver 2 spot. And then of the flex options, you have Dowdle, you have JSN, you have the other options here. I think you got to go JSN. Oh, it's a no PPR league. Okay, so it's a no PPR. If it's no PPR, I take the touches of Dowdle. Again, you're going to be hearing this. It doesn't, I'm assuming it's a no PPR, but if you meant to put PPR, if it's full PPR, I would go JSN. If it's no PPR, I would go with Rico Dowdle there. Again, appreciate you, Fredo. Moski here, 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 8 league PPR. He is just looking what it looks like to be his quarterback in his flex. Quarterback, he hasn't left. Maybe he left a comment as well. Again, torn between Purdy and Bo Nix, also struggling to decide who to flex. Full PPR, 4-point passing touchdown. So between Purdy and Bo Nix, I would still lean Brock Purdy. However, I mean, they are very close to my rankings. They're, I believe, quarterback-wise, like 15 and 18 is where I have them. 15 and 19, but I do still slightly prefer Brock Purdy, especially knowing that Kittle and Deebo Samuel are still going to be playing in this game. And in terms of the flex question, again, it doesn't actually show on my, it does show on my Anico. Apologies here. If that's the case, I don't know why the quarterback's not showing, but if that's the case for these flex options, I would lean Lab McConkey. Does sound like he's going to be playing. He is dealing with a hip injury, so something to monitor. However, out of the other options, I feel the most confident in Lab McConkey, with Raheem Mostert probably being the close second, I would say. We'll go to Pedro. Again, appreciate you. 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 7 PPR league. Quarterback, Kyler Murray. Running backs, we have J.K. Dobbins and Devon Achane. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison. Tight end, Kyle Pitts. At flex here, we're going to be plugging DeMario Douglas very easily in, and we're going to be plugging Jalen Tolbert in as well. So also make sure you do this, by the way. So if I can take, let's just put Downs in for now. You put Pop there. Put Pop there, and then you put CeeDee Lamb there because you want these Sunday night players playing in your flex. So appreciate you, Pedro. Let me just make sure that's set fully for you. Yeah, I mean, you should have gotten a response there regardless. And then finally from Flash Matrix, 1 quarterback, 10 team start, 7 league. We do see the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end set. Looks like he's just looking for his flex here out of these options. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. to me has to be in your lineup. I understand it has been a little bit concerning if you do have Marv. He hasn't played up to his level thus far. However, with that being said, with the other options, I do like the other options. Like I do like Roma Dunze. I do like DeAndre Hopkins. I think they have solid projections. But with Marvin Harrison Jr., it's a projection, but you just got to hope he bounces back. That's pretty much where I'm at with him. But yeah, we have answered all of the comments that have all the context. Gunna, if you are watching this right now, feel free to leave it. And again, if you are unable to, I'd be happy to get you a voucher if you filled it in wrong. But we got one from Mountain Man Mike, it looks like, as well. So we'll get into this too. We'll go to take off the trade or take off the team. And perfect. So Mike, appreciate you. He's actually in the listener league. 14-man start 7 PPR league. So 14-man, pretty deep here. Looking at the options, you have Bucky Irving, Zach Moss, Blake Corum, Ray Davis, Roma Dunze, and Jalen Tolbert. I would be throwing Jalen Tolbert into my lineup. like I've mentioned on stream, I am optimistic about the Cowboys offense bouncing back. So I'll take another refresh. I'll see if any other site questions came in. If not, then I will be going to answer some of the YouTube comments. So again, if you guys are new to the stream, Corey had to step out real quickly. I believe he had to deal with something in the household. So I don't know if he's going to be back or not, but with that being said, I can handle you guys regardless. So boom. Okay. Refresh. Do we have any more pending? We got one from Pedro. Okay. So we got one from Pedro. So I will go back into the stream, hit the refresh button. Okay. And bang. So, all right. Should be back. Sorry. Apologies. 10 teams start 8 half PPR. We do see he's basically just looking for his flexes. Kyler Murray, quarterback. Running backs already set here with Mixon and Devon Achane. Wide receivers look like they're already set. In terms of your flexes, it's between these options. For me, I would go with Romeo Doubs and I would go with Tyrone Tracy, but it would be pretty close between those two guys along with Roma Dunze for me. So I will, again, appreciate you there. And then we'll take another refresh, see if any other comments come in, and then go to the YouTube live chat, like I mentioned. So, all right. All right. It looks like we are all caught up right now. Again, if you do want to skip the line, flockfantasy.com/FSC, you're able to fill out your question, very aesthetic. Best way to submit your start sits moving forward, especially knowing the haircut that YouTube was taking. So, first one in here was actually Thrill Shot. So ready to see what week 8 brings. Yeah. I am very excited. Obviously, I mean, big loss before the bye in week 6, but I need the bounce back from both 4 and the entirety of the Cowboys team. And of course, it has to happen against our bookie man, the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. So should be interesting. I need my get back, though, for sure. Full PPR, Tank Dell over Jalen Waddle. I would be going with Jalen Waddle there. Mitchell, hey guys, please pick 2 wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Shakir, Lockett, Dell. Pick 1 flex, Chase Brown, Shakir, Lockett, Trace Jr., tight end Auden Kmet, quarterback Allen or Stroud. So wide receivers here, Garrett Wilson's going to be in for sure. And then I would also go with Tank Dell. Your 1 flex, Chase Brown. I would go with Chase Brown out of those flex options. And then at tight end, I have Kate Auden 1 spot higher than Kmet, but they're close enough where really a preference thing there. But I would go with Auden if I had to make that choice. And then I would go with Josh Allen over CJ Stroud. Sorry. Oh, got to clear the throat. Pause. All right. Where do we leave? Start McConkey or Pearsall, my second flex full PPR. I would be going with Ricky Pearsall there, Ed. Any parlays today? So I'll actually show my picks. I actually did 2 shorts for my picks this morning. If you guys are following along to the series that we've been doing there, I'll get those on the screen for you guys. So if you guys want to tailor fade, you can do so. But this is what it looks like here. Apologies, just pulling it up. A lot easier for Corey to have the filler conversation when we're doing this duo. But yeah, if you guys are new, like I said, he will more than likely be out for the rest of the stream. So hopefully he's all good there. All right. I think we should be good here. You guys should be able to see this now. First pick, First pick'em slip, we got Rico Dowdle higher than 56.5 rushing plus receiving yards. It's already been reported, according to Mike McCarthy, that he's going to be receiving back to that Pittsburgh workload. They said they want to get him the touch workload moving forward. I do think that's going to be a point of emphasis out of their bye week. Obviously, had that week 7 bye, week 8 against the Niners. And I do think both in the receiving game as well as the rushing game, we see Rico Dowdle handle his biggest workload. Fun fact, he's currently number 2 in the NFL at the running back position in terms of yards per route run. So he can get there multiple ways, both in the rushing and the receiving game. David Njoku, full-time alpha in this Cleveland offense, 28% of the targets in the first game without Amari Cooper. Pass funnel defense in this matchup against Baltimore. Really like David Njoku's fantasy football outlook going forward. Hence why the 10.35, I'm taking the higher. Javonte Williams higher than 63.5 rushing yards. Carolina's a mess. They can't stop nobody. Denver is implied for 26 points, 11-point favorites in this game. I expect Javonte Williams to get going. And then finally, Drake May higher than 235.5 passing plus rushing yards. If you've been watching the channel, this is no shock to you. We both, myself and Corey, very much believe in Drake May. We believe in him changing potentially the outlook of this offense moving forward. I love Pop Douglas. Pop Douglas is off the injury report, and I think Drake May is the engine of this offense. I mean, it's pretty simple when you see Jacoby Brissett throwing 2 touchdowns in 5 games, and in the last 2 starts, his first 2 starts, Drake May's already throwing 5 touchdowns. We already see the difference he's making in that offense. So that would be the quarterback, running back, tight end slip, and then the wide receiver slip as well. Good HUD start for me. Luka Doncic higher 24.5 points, which was able to hit last night. So for this 4-parter, we're already 1 leg up. That's very good to be. DeAndre Hopkins higher than 37.5 receiving yards. Risk that he plays limited snaps, but he is expected to play in that Rashee Rice, Juju Smith-Schuster role. So I do think even if he does play limited snaps, like we saw with Puka, the reports he'd be in limited snaps. But if you're playing the role where they want to get you hyper involved, and even if you are playing limited, they feed you the ball when you're on the field, I think DeAndre Hopkins, 37.5 is going to be his lowest line as a Kansas City Chief moving forward. So I want to take it when it's at this type of price point, to be honest, because I very well could see that line rising moving forward to the 60 to the 70-yard range, depending how he does this week. Demario Douglas, may as well just copycat the rationale I made for Drake May. I believe in Drake May. I believe in Pop Douglas. Pop Douglas has earned 30% of the targets from Drake May so far, and it does sound like he is fully recovered from that illness that held him out last week. Jamar Chase over the or higher than a touchdown. Really simple, 6 touchdowns in 5 games. Very good game environment. No T. Higgins potentially. I believe he's actually already been ruled out. So with Jamar Chase, I just expect him to continue that touchdown equity he's had in this offense. So we will get back to the comments, and I will also refresh on the site to see if we got any more submissions from you guys. Again, appreciate the support. Love you guys. Appreciate Ed. Also have Tracy on the bench if you guys think he's better than McConkey or Pearsall. It'd be close between Pearsall and Tracy. I would go Tracy over McConkey, actually, for the record. So if you can do that, I would do that. Sit 1, Devontae Smith, Neighbors, Flowers, or Reed, full PPR. Where do I have them ranked? So Smith, Neighbors, Flowers, Reed. Flowers would be the lowest that I would have here. Dr. Harris, Brian. Sorry, gotta get locked back in. PPR pick 2, Zay Flowers, Debo, Ridley, McMillan, or Waddle. PPR pick 2. So it's going to be Waddle for sure, and then it's going to be, does sound like Debo's going to be fully healthy, so I would go with Debo as well there, Mystery Meat. By the way, for those of you that are in here, because it is solo, I do still have to set some of my lineup, so I will be ending this at 12:50, so make sure all the site comments, along with as much of the YouTube chat as I can be caught up to. So we will go quickly refresh on the site. Again, I don't have the email notifications right now to see if there's new submissions. Also, if you did see the chat, as you can see, I did reply to you. So whether you can get this in before the live, or whether you can get this in before the end of the live stream, or if you potentially get a voucher, let me know, because you say here, not sure if I should trust 2 of my Dolphins players or go with Harris and Pickens. So again, I can't see the lineup. So feel free to either update me in the chat, or again, if you want a resubmission, we'll grant you a voucher, because unfortunately the team wasn't able to get linked on their end. So we will do this for now, and of course I'll share that once we do get more comments. All right. By the way, I agree. I do see some comments. If you guys are enjoying the stream, I answered your question. Again, it is a one-man duty right now, so I'm just firing all cylinders. I literally have not even finished my coffee. So if you guys do enjoy, again, 268 in here, leaving a like really helps us a lot in that YouTube algorithm, trying to get you those fantasy football W's. So appreciate you guys. Again, enough with the self-promotion. We go to try. Oh, actually, I skipped Cade. So pick 2, MHJ, Bigsby, or Chase Brown. MHJ is the lock, and then I have Chase Brown versus Bigsby close. I would still slightly lean Brown, but honestly, it's a personal preference between Bigsby and Brown. They are both legitimately within a few spots of each other for me. Trident half PPR, start 1 at flex. MHA, Dowdle, Tank Dell, Dunze, and D-Hop. MHA for me if you only have to start 1 there, Trident. 14 team full PPR, 1 quarterback, start 7, start Nix or May, and start Wicks or Troy Franklin at the flex. I would go with Drake May, and then I would also go with, it's pretty close here. Wicks is the upside play, and in a 14-teamer, I kind of like the upside play, so give me Dontavian Wicks there. Waddle or MHJ, I have Waddle higher there, Sarah. Derbez, Pearsall or Bateman, I would actually go with Ricky Pearsall. Sarah says half PPR, Waddle or MHJ for wide receiver 2, already playing Chase of 1. Okay, so this is just extension giving some context for the other comment. So I would have that. It is, again, in a half PPR, Waddle, Chase, and Dobbins would be the way I would lean. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, it is a tougher matchup, and I do think he could bounce back. But with that being said, I do think that there are better projections from the other guys that you mentioned there. McBride or Ferguson, Smith or Dell PPR. So between McBride, I mean, I have McBride over Ferguson, but Smith or Dell, I would also have Devontae Smith. So give me McBride and Devontae Smith there, Kyle. What happens on Underdog if you accidentally chose a player who went playing it today? So it'll get voided for you there, Bryson. Don't worry. It will get voided. Pick 2, JT, Bigsby, or Monty PPR. So I would be sitting Bigsby here, but man, that is a very good problem to have there, Kyle. So we will see here. All right. So I will scroll back up. Again, we are motor mouthing this live stream, man. We are ripping. Yeah. Okay. So thrill shot helped you there. Marvin Dowd on the flex. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. there, Casey. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So you guys are answering each other. Now you're chill, Bryson. You're chill. Morning, fellas. 2 leagues. First league, half PPR, 2 flex. Start Cook over Algier. I would definitely go with Tyler Algier. I still think this is Rico Dowdle's backfield. Second league standard. Start who out of these options? Flowers, D-Hop, or JSM with no DK. So I would still go with Zay Flowers, but he is a little bit riskier knowing that we have seen potential game script issues with the Baltimore Ravens if they get up early. I like Algier in that one. Yeah, I would go with Algier over Cook for sure. We playing Bigsby in a potential negative game script. Got him 2 leagues. Would be playing over Chase Brown and Adunze. I'd be comfortable playing over Adunze, but I still have Chase Brown slightly higher. 2 of HM, Mason, Jacob, or let's go PD, yeah. 2 of HM, Mason, Jacobs, and Swift. 2 of Chase Brown, Bigsby, DJ Moore. So HM's going to be a lock, and I would say Jacobs, but that's close between him and Mason. I think I have them 10 and 12 right now. I lean HN and Jacobs, but man, like that's the type of decision. It feels like no matter what direction you go, you're going to go wrong. So it's a good problem to have. Good problem to have. And 2 of Chase Brown, Bigsby, or DJ Moore, full PPR. Bigsby would be the one on my bench there out of those 3 options. So appreciate you, Tom. Who should I start at flex? Wandale, Ramondre, Wicks, or Tracy? I need a little bit more context. Is this a full PPR? Is this a half PPR? Knowing that there's running backs and, PPR scam wide receivers like Wandale in here. Again, I lean Tracy face value, but would like more context here. Yo, what's good, Christian? What's good, brother? Kincaid or McBride? Very easily McBride for me there, Pionio. Cheers, throw shot. Yes, sir. Full PPR, BTJ, JSN, or Devontae Smith. I have BTJ ranked the highest of these, but it's very close between him and Devontae Smith. But if you have to start 2, JSN would be the one I would say. Connor, pick 1 tight end, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, and full PPR. And Njoku, Ferguson, Dowdle, Kirk, Pop Douglas, Ricky Pearsall, Roman Tolbert. So Njoku's going to be in my tight end spot. Wide receiver, I would be going with Pop Douglas. And then at the flex, I would be going. It's close between, Ferguson, Dowdle. I don't know if you can play a tight end in the flex, but if you can, Ferguson, Dowdle, Tolbert, Pearsall, Rome, they're all really close. I would lean Dowdle because of the guaranteed touches. So if this was my lineup decision, I would be ending up going with Njoku, Dowdle, and Pop Douglas there. You guys trusting Debo over Amari and Devontae Smith? Amari, yes. Devontae Smith, no. But they're all within the same range for me. Debo or Waddle? I would go with Waddle there. Here we go. FSC, baby. Yes, sir. Throw shot. Guys, James Conner or Monty. I would go with Montgomery. Morning. What's up, Q Hussein? Please help. Yes, sir. I already answered you. You're good. $100 parlay took Lions, Packers, Texans, Ravens, Broncos, and Chiefs. How we feeling? Yeah, I mean, it looks good on face value. I favor all of the sides that you picked out there. The only issue is like when you do pick favorites, there's always bound to be one upset, but hopefully for your sake, Christian, you hit that parlay because I do like the sides that you are taking on all of them. Pollard or Chuba or Bucky. So I would go with Pollard there, Aaron. I could not have sold on ETN at a better time, and I have Bigsby. Yeah, you cooked there. Jeez. You absolutely cooked there, brother. By the way, Matthew, if you're wondering why can't I send Super Chat, best way to do it now to skip the line is going over on Flock Fantasy. And speaking of, let me refresh and see if any more site questions came in. And then we'll get to you guys. It is a little bit tougher, of course, when you're doing it on the ones, but we will be good. Where did we leave off in the comments? All right. Okay, about halfway in the comments. Full PPR, Flex Jacobs or Debo. It's risky knowing. I think I still go with Debo because it does sound like he's ready to go, but it is a little bit concerning knowing that he's coming off the illness with the pneumonia. HN or Hunt or Reed for flex. What a problem to have. I mean, you're going with HN, but I don't want to sit any of those guys. Dobbins or HN or Cook in a PPR. I would go HN there, Killa. Should I start Kelsey or Pitts? I would go with Kelsey there, spooked. Mooney or Marvin Harrison Jr. I would go with Marvin Harrison Jr. very comfortably there, Blake. Ferg or Pitts, I would go with Jake Ferguson slightly. I believe they're back-to-back in my rankings. Also have Swift in the flex. Could put Bigsby over a wide receiver. I don't know what this is in reference to, but it's in the other one. Yeah, no, I would go with the guys that I mentioned. I wouldn't put Bigsby over any of them. Dunze, Flowers, Mooney start 2 half PPR. Dunze would be the one I'm sitting, but I don't feel great about it, to be honest. Morning, guys. I got tough week. I'm starting Love Hall, played Williams, J. Brown. I mean, it looks good to me. Is that Garrett Wilson? Like, there's just a lot of lack of context here. Sorry, I'm okay. Double, this is very hard to follow. I'm not gonna lie, brother. I mean, it looks good, but like if you're benching Garrett Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr., I would play them. Again, I don't know Williams, and yeah, I'm gonna need more context. Amari Cooper or Najee Harris. Give me Amari Cooper there, Urji. Where's the super chat at? Yeah, just explain that. Yeah, Pete pretty much summed it up pretty well. I traded Murray and Dell for Hurts. Yeah, perfectly fine with making that move. I do view Hurts as a needle mover in fantasy moving forward. What up, guys? Tua or Jaden Daniels? I would go with Jaden Daniels here. Terry or Auden at the flex. I would go with Terry McLaurin. I would still go with Terry McLaurin even if you're scared of the matchup. Chad and Njoku or Auden. Both will be. I'm going with Njoku over Auden very easily. Amari Cooper or Jaden Reed at the flex. Give me Jaden Reed there, Goofy. Burrow or Daniels this week. I would go with Jaden Daniels, but if you're worried about the rib injury, I don't mind pivoting to Burrow, but I do have Daniels ranked higher. Okay. Let me take a look. Anything happening in chat? Okay. So we'll scroll back up here. Again, we are at about the 12:03 minute mark. If you guys have a start sit that is very urgent right now, again, I am ending the live stream at 12:50. I have to set my own lineups. It's been a busy weekend for myself, so I haven't been able to do that quite yet. I mean, obviously, after the Thursday, I'm basically trying to say I didn't set them yesterday. So if you guys do have last-second comments, again, I'm at about the 12:03 mark. If you do want to skip the line, flockfantasy.com, the link is pinned in the chat. So let me take a little refresh, see if any more came in. Does not look like it, but again, let me just make sure to clarify because maybe some of you submit now. Team off. And it's just Gunna Boy. So we are waiting for Gunna Boy's reply. Let me refresh to make sure he didn't get back to me here. No, he did not. So we'll go back to the chat. Tillman or Coleman in the flex. I would slightly lean Coleman, but they are pretty close there. Colby. You already asked that. Again, Goofy. We're asking our questions once. This is already hard enough to get through. Don't ask the question more than once, please. Guys, Auden or Ferg, give me Ferg. And that applies to everyone, by the way. If you're asking your question more than once, quite simply, that does not make you more likely to get answered. We are going in order to the YouTube live chat. All it does is just agitate us, to be honest. And makes it more likely that we skip over your question if you ask it 4, 5, 6 times. 2 times is fine. Again, especially if you're new to the chat, that's fine. If you are coming in here and you are copy pasting your question 5, 6 times in a row, again, we have moderators in here that will time you out. And also, we're just not going to answer the question. So pick wisely. Cousins or Mayfield, who to play? Only people giving Mayfield a shot is Vegas. Yeah, I would be going with Cousins there, Larry. Bucky or Wicks, flex half PPR. With Bucky banged up, I would be going Wicks. Both are pretty low floors, but I like the Wicks ceiling against Jacksonville. Should I start Andrews or Komet? Give me Komet there, AT, and Command go to yes, sir. Stroud or Caleb, a 6-point passing touchdown. I would slightly still lean Stroud, but they are literally within 2 ranks of me. For me, Tillman, Cotton, or Komet. We call it Cotton. Is that same? Oh, okay, that's another com. I mean, I would go with Auden slightly. HN or Hunt or Reed for flex. Did you already ask this? Or am I tripping? I mean, it's HN, but sorry, Are we flexing Dell, Chubb, MHA, or Chase Brown half PPR? I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. Is the clear option for me there. JT, appreciate you, brother. Wicks or Kareem Hunt PPR. Kareem Hunt very easily for me. Again, refreshing on the Flock Fantasy to see if any of you guys submitted. And like I said, so we do have one from Skitty, so I'll make sure you get answered. And then, like I said, we will be closing off at 12:50. So whatever is in the queue by 12:50, I will be answering. If not, then I will just be heading off. So yeah. I mean, we still got to about 12:05 in the live chat. Again, it is tough to get to all of your comments, especially knowing that we are flopping from Flock Fantasy to the live chat as well. But I mean, halfway through chat is a pretty good spot where we've been at based on pace. So Skitty here again. Let me go back to boom. Perfect. So let me get to Skitty's comment. Redraft 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start 8 league. It looks like his rest of his positions already set. Love, Henry, Hall, Waddle, Chase, etc. There. Main flex considerations. With ETN expected out, I would be going with Tank Bigsby. So I do like Tank Bigsby. The other close option for me would be DeAndre Hopkins. So I would go Bigsby, but Hopkins is not far off. But yes. Let me just refresh, see if any more came in. Okay, Gunna, again, if you're watching this, feel free to reply. I will get back to some of the YouTube comments, but yeah, I'm just going to refresh a couple. Again, I'm not going to be getting into too many more comments, but if you guys do want it answered and you're just tuning into the screen, flockfantasy.com, promo code FSC. So where do we leave off here? Okay, Wicks or Kareem Hunt. PPR start 2, DJ Moore, BTJ, Jaden Reed, or Amari Cooper. I would be going with Jaden Reed and Brian Thomas Jr., my 2 highest receivers here, Cole. Hi, guys. Pick 3, full PPR. Adunze, Bateman, Pitts, Warren, Mooney. Thanks you in advance from Cornwall, UK. Hey, appreciate you, brother, all the way from the UK. Out of these, you're picking 3. I mean, Mooney's going to be the lock for me. Probably going to end up being Mooney, Odunze, and Pitts for me, but pretty close question again. And again, shout out the support over at the UK. Andre or Khalil Shakir to start. I mean, I'm assuming this is Yoshivas. I would go with Shakir, but he's not bad. Is Yoshivas a flex? It depends who your other options are. I think he's a fine, wide receiver 4 play. If you're in a deep league, you can put him in a pinch, but he's not somebody I'm relying upon. Commander Ferguson for me there, Hector. Rest of the season in this week. Yeah, Ferguson both this week and rest of the season for me. No Nix or Jaden. Bo Nix or Jaden. I would go with Jaden Daniels. Bigsby versus Irving versus Tracy. I would go with Tank Bigsby. Tucker or Pitts at tight end. I would go with Kyle Pitts there. What else? See this? Any solid first touchdown plays today? Honestly, I haven't looked into it smooth. I do have a touchdown play from Jamar Chase. If you want to make the first touchdown for Chase, actually, I don't mind that as well because we know he could break a game open. Appreciate you there, Smooth. OG, you have the chat. PPR start 2, Thomas, Dobbins, Dell, Harrison, Mooney, or Myers. I would go with Brian Thomas Jr. and Marvin Harrison Jr. there, but it's relatively close. Again, if it was a half PPR, I'd probably lean Dobbins over Marv. No, I guess a full PPR, I'd go with Marv. I'll be starting Debo this week. Depends on who your other options are, brother. Also, go blue. For the record, I don't expect much from my Wolverines this year. But with that being said, as long as you guys don't win, pretty happy. What's up, fellas? Okay, I already read that. I don't know what this number is. Sure. Again, only ask your comments once. I hate seeing repeat comments. It's like my biggest pet peeve, to be honest. Someone help him in a blender. Go with Ferguson there. Where would you rank Yoshivas with T out? So he's somebody that I actually do have to adjust. He would probably be around the wide receiver 45 to 50 range for me. Again, I don't really have big expectations, to be honest. So, now we're seeing the bots come in. All right. So we got through about what, Mike? I'll answer your question. I already answered this one. So we got to 12:12 in the YouTube live chat. So if you guys are watching right now, this is about, again, I'm solo. Usually when we're duo, we're even a little bit slower pace. So if you do want to skip the line, like I said, and you're not planning, or if you want your comment answered, is basically what I'm trying to say. If you want your comment answered, it's tough to get your comment answered if you're coming in any later than 12. So the best way, of course, is over on Flock. So we will quickly refresh the tab over on Flock. We'll see if there's any comments that came in. No submissions so far, and Gunna hasn't got back to me. So again, appreciate you guys. I do have to set my own lineups. I still haven't finished this coffee, so I'm going to quickly finish the coffee and then get ready for this big 1 p.m. slate. Again, I'm very excited. If you guys are unfamiliar, in the Flock League, I actually do play against Corey this week. So FSC on FSC violence. Hopefully this mean mug is willing to take down that matchup because I do desperately need a win, at least until that guy behind me comes back into the lineup. So appreciate you guys for sticking in. Again, 287, already making it about an hour into the live stream. So appreciate you guys. But with that being said, peace out. Good luck in your matchups. Secure those W's, baby.